Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hacked in the Dark. This is our fifth and possibly final episode of Moth-Light. We will see how things play out today, and this will be part one. Justin, if you could take it away.
Hello, everyone. I'm Justin. I'm your GM and the creator of Moth-Light. This, as we were just being told, is potentially the last episode. I like to feel things out and see where they go. But in our previous episode, the group delivered the message that they set out to deliver to the Emperor Wish, but something is off, and we're going to find out what today. As far as some disclaimers, note that this game might include some violence. There's potentially some, CWs for social manipulation and weird alien creatures that might have insect or maybe arachnid qualities. So if that creeps you out, maybe think about skipping this one. Michelle, would you tell us about yourself and your character?
Yes, I'm Michelle. She, her, and I am, for some reason, I thought of something else. And I'm playing Sequa, the Promise crew favorite.
Yes.
Words are hard today. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, I'm Mike, he, him, and I'm playing Kettu, the Heart.
And I am Travis. Anything's good by me, and I am playing Vholt, the Sage.
And I'm Danielle. I use she, her, they pronouns, and I'm playing Seer, the Shell.
And last episode, as I said, we made it to the Emperor Wish's compound in the Downs, an ancient city that's largely, the above ground has largely been hollowed out and recovered by nature. But this is a bastion of safety of sorts. And here Kettu has been reunited with an old friend, but maybe not the one that he thought he was looking for. So Kettu, I think after the events between T.S.E.E.R and I guess himself that we kind of went out on last session, I think over the next day or so, you go to your rooms and you find that you have been assigned like guardians. Like they're essentially like people outside your door. There's no explanation. If you ask, they just say orders of Chiron. And before you have a chance to plan any kind of like inauspicious activities or some kind of like sneaky stuff, you get a knock on your door, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I'll answer.
It swings open and the current Emperor Wish walks in, your friend.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, on your character sheet, you used to know this person as Arya, yeah? Arya walks in, a young woman, no older than you. And she has a look of concern on her face. You see the guard, like, at the door, just standing alert. But then she asks, like, may I come in?
Yeah, Kettu nods and, tries to motion to sit down somewhere, but there's only one chair,
Mm-hmm. It's good to see you, Kettu.
Yes, it's good to see you. It's been a while since our last jamming session.
I used to love those. Maybe we could do another soon.
Perhaps if your entourage here would allow it.
As you're talking, she's kind of like taking something out of a handbag. Maybe you didn't even notice at first. Like, she's doing it with like the kind of smooth, like nonchalance of someone like taking out knitting needles to do like to do some knitting while they're having a conversation or something like that. But soon, she asks you, may I? And she's holding like a little device connected by a cord to like another one. And she's pushing it towards your hand.
You can have a mind link here. Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Okay. I think. Okay, so at this point, Kettu does not know about T.S.E.E.R's vision, if I remember right.
Correct.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take it. Let's see what happens.
It's weird because she seems to be able to say one thing with her mouth and another with her head. And she ends up kind of conducting like a kind of a one-way conversation. I think you're probably not as skilled as she is. With you out loud while having an entirely different conversation with you silently. And she asks you, she says to you, actually, I have something to show you. We have to be quiet.
All right.
I know that you weren't expecting me.
Well, that's one thing, but I really just need answers.
I think I have them. Would you follow me? Do you trust me?
Is this in the link or outside?
Oh yeah, everything, like this conversation, everything is in the link.
Okay, so we're having a virtual. Like, all right.
Yeah. If we quick zoom out of that, she's kind of chattering on about when you used to do together and the last time she saw you, that kind of thing.
Sure. Then yeah, I will follow the construct, I guess. Memory construct. I don't know what to call it.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, she's there. Like she's there with you, right? What do you think? What are we talking about? A construct?
So this is like a virtual space. Is that right?
You're just talking though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of silent speech.
It's like having a conversation out loud with someone while also texting them.
Correct. Exactly. That's okay. Exactly the analogy.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So, in what manner is he trying to show me something?
She gets up and she walks to one side of the room, and I think like there's a secret passageway or something like that, or maybe it's as simple as like suddenly there's a window where you didn't realize there was a window before in this room, that kind of a thing.
All right then, let's go.
And we open that window and we kind of climb out into this kind of austere structure. It's not falling on you at the moment, but there is like a harsh rain blowing tonight. And we will get back to you shortly, but I am curious what Vholt you are doing at this time. You were kind of with T.S.E.E.R whenever T.S.E.E.R had his visions, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like doing research.
Yeah. I don't know what was told to you, but I'll let Danielle decide how much you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is Vholt. Vholt was like looking up diagrams rather than like T.S.E.E.R's true purpose. So I think the last thing that happened was we tried to go find Kettu. So we probably got shown to our rooms or something along those lines.
I think that is exactly what happened. Is they separated you, or like told you that something was off limits.
Yeah. So actually, I was thinking about trying to. I have this new, what are they called?
A move.
Trapping.
Oh.
Trapping.
Yes.
That's the one. So I have this one that we were calling it remote control. So it was the device that I acquired from the tower, the high tower that Kettu helped me climb.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about trying to, because like things are getting more and more suspicious as we're here.
Yeah.
And I was gonna see if I couldn't like get into some sort of cameras or listening devices, and see if I couldn't catch something similar to how I did on the satellite before.
Yes, you can. Are you thinking of this as like a project, or are you thinking this is just a action?
I'd be fine with it being a project, yeah. Because I was
It kind of
gonna.
feels like a short project to me.
Yeah.
To kind of especially for you, because you more deal with these things physically, to kind of redesign it or meddle with its machinery, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely you can, and I would say your special ability that lets you kind of tinker with augur and predecessor tech counts for this, so keep that in mind.
Sure. So like recrafting it to do something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure. So I imagine that would probably be dabble as a skill then, if I was going to do a project clock.
I think so. And this would be a short project, 4 ticks.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to give me 3 dice. I do still have my my like crushed leg, effectively. I don't know if that would necessarily hinder me on this.
I don't think so.
Okay. So I'm gonna have 3 dice real quick here. And that will get me a 6.
I do kind of like the setting of the scene with that crutch leg, though. Like, are you like walking around on a crutch as you do this stuff, or?
Yeah. Well, I imagine we were probably shown to our rooms. So at this point, he's probably doing it from the comfort of either the side of a bed or a chair or something, some sort of desk. But there's probably something laid up against the door that would be like an acting crutch that Vholt would have just like pulled out of his bag, like something that wasn't really meant to be that, or like some sort of scrap he found lying around.
Well, with the 6, you mark quite a bit of progress there. Go ahead and mark 3 segments. And let's see here. As far as like what you glean, I think that with this you get like the diagrams of where they all are. So
Sure.
you haven't gotten control of them yet, but you're very close to that.
Sounds good.
Maybe you even get access to them, but you don't have like control over them. So it's like you have the display, and you even see maybe the Ember Wish going into Kettu's room. Kettu,
Sure.
I'll let you decide. Does he see you exiting your room on those cameras, or do you think the Ember Wish would try to avoid that? It kind of makes sense if they would, I guess, because again, Vholt doesn't have control of the cameras yet.
Yeah, I think there would be cameras in like the hallway, but probably not in the room.
Yes.
And I assume the door was closed. So
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what you see, Vholt. And with that, I want to check in on Nichelle
Yes.
and Sequa.
Yes.
What is Sequa doing, and how harshly did they protest being escorted to their room?
Being escorted to her room.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't think that they can necessarily find her at the moment.
Oh, interesting.
I think that she is dealing with a doubt right now. They said we can use anything and go anywhere. I think Sequa is actually in the vault right now, looking at all of the machines, all the different eclectic artifacts and things like that, and essentially just trying to embody more so being a oracle and seeing, okay, well, if this is the ancients and this is the history and this was our mission, what did these things have to say?
Nichelle, how did you sneak over here and without being detected? And stop.
I'm pretty sure Sequa used Gaslighter.
Would you go ahead and maybe make a roll for me? That's kind of like a retroactive roll to see
Yeah.
how close you are to being escorted back and discovered. Yeah, exactly. And tell me what action. First of all, tell me what action you're rolling.
Let's see. I think I would use mislead.
That makes sense. That would be highly effective too. Standard.
Travis,
effect.
did you eat?
And I'm going to say you're in a risky position, with the risk being that you will be discovered and escorted back, essentially. So it's just a matter of when, like how much time you have here.
Do you have a devil's bargain for me?
The devil's bargain would be you won't, like, the consequence would rise. Well, that's not a true devil's bargain.
You learn something you don't want to know.
Yeah, that's really the big one.
I'll take it.
Okay.
4 and a 2.
So the consequence will come to pass, but you'll have a little bit of time to find what you need. So I'll let you do, one thing essentially. But then unless you resist, someone is going to come for you.
I'll resist this.
Okay. Tell me how. And since it sounds like you're tricking them, I think this is insight.
Yeah. The only other way I can think of it is it's possibly using sense to recognize that this could go very, very badly, very, very quickly.
I'm going to argue...
more so mislead.
Yeah. I'm going to argue that's not resisting it, that's just knowing what you've done, which I think you usually do.
I'm very much aware of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think of how she's resisting this being found is that she didn't just gaslight one guard or somebody that's watching this, the dais, and everything around it, but she also did it on probably the security system as well.
Are you in costume? Are you in costume, or did you take any measures to like blend in or anything like that? Are you too proud for that?
I don't think she would wear a costume. She might have swiped a key card, but I don't think that she would wear a costume and be like, no, Gonna cover up my flashy jacket.
Then I know exactly what this resistance is going to be, like the result of this is going to be. So go ahead and make it.
Bold words to know what I'm going to roll.
Lowest die in stress. What'd you roll? A 1. Beautiful.
A 1.
You always roll low on these resistance rolls. It's ridiculous.
I do.
We see a guard going over to the archives, maybe like with a confused look on his face. And then he reaches for the door and it won't open. And then he goes down to look for his key card and it's not there. So we go into the archives and tell me what you're doing. You only have so much time before he comes back with someone who can help him get in there. What is it you're doing? And is this like a long-term project or something quicker than that?
I was just trying to release doubt and evidently now stress.
I like that. But go ahead and so to release doubt, generally speaking, you have to reveal them to someone, but I'll kind of allow it in this situation.
I think the guard, as he is like trying the door, can also hear muttering on the other side of it. Because he could.
You're acting out recklessly, which is part of one of the other options other than revealing this to someone. So go ahead and gather some info. Ask a leading question for me, and I'll tell you the answer, knowing that you had a particular devil's bargain. So you're not going to like this either way.
Oh.
Perfect.
I'm trying to release my doubt of our mission may have been skewed.
Mm-hmm.
This was the wrong... This was the wrong mission. This was not how things were supposed to go down.
I mean, you're releasing this doubt, so it'll be comforting to you, or at least cathartic in some way, but it's not going to necessarily be that in a way that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Or that is positive for you. Yeah.
And I think she's just probably like just talking to the artifacts and such. And
right.
Maybe that's how it's revealed, as one of them is still powered and just answer. Like maybe there's some really weird, like just various different artifacts through. I don't know why a Furby just
let's
my
roll.
mind.
let's ask me that question and roll, and we'll see.
Were we wrong in taking this particular action?
Great. How are you finding? You're going through the archives, so I would assume this is like study. Is it sense, attune?
I would say more so attune, because she is using her sensate kind of a thing.
Yeah, and if this were any other library, that maybe wouldn't make as much sense, but this is the Keeper's library, so it makes a lot of sense that it could just be looked up that way. So go ahead and roll your attune dice.
5 and 2 ones.
All right, I'll give you a straightforward answer that confirms your suspicions. It takes some finagling, but as usual, you kind of, you don't just do a simple Google search. You kind of like go to the dark web or whatever version of this library, and you find that there are some hidden files. And what you find is that there already is a copy of the message here, hidden away. There's multiple of them. They've been hiding it.
This isn't the first time that someone has tried to...
No, you like listen to them, and it's like the countdown is like it grows over time, right? Because it's further in the past. So it's like someone has come here with this information before.
Yet the council that I am aware of has not ever sent somebody before.
They haven't. And maybe there's even some names, and you recognize names. Like they're not all Fallen Leaf. Like of like the messengers aren't always from Fallen Leaf. They're random people, nomads, keeper nomads, or some. I think in one case it's like a new steel speaker or something who finds the information. People stumbling upon the signal from Cygnus Station throughout, hundreds of years, maybe even. And you get to wondering, like, are the embers always, have they always been corrupted or something? But then you keep seeing one name attached to these files that you recognize, and this is a name that's kind of new to this episode, but you keep seeing Chiron attached to this. And Chiron, that's the name I decided to give to basically the captain of the guard, essentially, captain of the sentries, I think I'll call him here. And when you look up the file on him, we get something odd in that he has been around longer than like anyone here. He doesn't seem to age either.
This is some Wall-E shit.
Yeah. This is some Wall-E shit, actually, kind of. I wasn't thinking of that whenever I was thinking of it.
Oh, it's great.
I just wanted to ask Sequa really quick. Does it suck when people won't tell you things?
Michelle.
I understand where Volt's coming from, but honestly, it doesn't bother my character as much as it bothers Volt.
Michelle, what is
Yes.
going through Seeker's mind as the door bursts open and we flash back to maybe T.S.E.E.R?
I think you see her kind of turn around, but as she does, she touches one of the artifacts, one of the machines.
You're gonna make a stand, okay?
I was looking for the bathroom, though I do believe I got turned around. And I think we'll just kind of close out there.
Yeah. T.S.E.E.R, how have you been dealing with the events that you discovered last episode?
So, when he came out of the reverie, he said to Vholt, I need to talk to Kettu. And then we were accosted. Well, we were firmly redirected to our quarters. But I don't think T.S.E.E.R's going quietly. He's gonna make a big damn scene.
Yes, I like it.
And is not above injuring these people.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, and I think that this might be an action roll for you. It sounds like you're trying to escape, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to be. I'm very interested if we have like a, T.S.E.E.R is running wild through this complex, or maybe even escapes to the outside, kind of a situation.
So Clash.
Clash is your choice. Okay, it's definitely going to be a dangerous one. I will start you out at risky, but that might quickly escalate.
6.
6 will do it. Tell me how you take out these ineffective sentries.
I don't know if they're necessarily ineffective. I think they're not expecting T.S.E.E.R to fight back.
Right. Probably not.
And as soon as T.S.E.E.R realizes that he and Vholt are kind of being led back to their rooms, presumably under house arrest, and it's not just, oh hey, we're here to follow you around and make sure you don't get lost. It's, no, you're coming back to your room. And as one of the guards pulls Vholt towards his room, T.S.E.E.R takes the opportunity to lash out at his own guard,
Mhm.
And
I'll let you take them both out.
okay.
You know? Yeah.
Uh,
Because then I get to have the fun question for Vholt of, do you go too?
mhm.
Yeah.
And which seer do you follow?
Well, we're with the owl right now.
Yeah, we're with
Mhm.
with Birdseer. We don't know where Nomen is right now.
We don't. Mm-mm.
Oh gosh, did he just wander away?
Who knows? But yeah, so he'll attack these guards, and once they go down, he's not trying to kill them. So we're gonna do the action movie knock them out kind of thing, even though that's not how knocking people out works. And he'll turn to Vholt, and say, "Are you coming?"
I think Volt will kind of look around, and is just like, that. Is this going to be too suspicious? Should we tell the others? Are we going to leave them in danger?
No, but we can't help them if we're trapped in our rooms.
Yes. Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. And I think Volt will kind of like hobble over one of the guards, and it's just like, do you know which way we need to go then?
Seer kind of does one of his trademark bird shrugs. I didn't think that far ahead.
Yeah, and maybe the previous scene with Volt is slightly different than originally imagined, but
Yeah,
maybe
that
this is the
happened now.
reason why he started trying to tap things.
Mhm.
I like it.
That.
And we see you go off. And I like, is it cool if that's just a little bit in the past from what we saw? Like, if things are disconnected a little bit? Because then we can
Yeah.
play with time, and maybe you can meet up with people that in a way
time is
that
fake.
makes sense. Yeah, exactly. So Kettu, later on, you are wandering with Arya through the structure. I think she takes you in a roundabout way. You go down some floors along the outside of the building, and she actually brings you back through a side entrance to a place we saw last episode. She brings you back to the resting place for all of the embers, kind of the pseudo graveyard of sorts. That's like almost like an interior mall area in terms of like well lit. It's indoors, but it's just like with lots of space, multiple floors and stuff like that. But she takes you up to that same grave of the previous Ember Wish, and she says, "This is all. This memory, it's a lie. I took it. It's mine. It's the last thing that. It's just a fun memory I had of her."
Like, well, we figured that much out, but what's the significance?
It's the Ember Wish is. I never got to see her. Chiron said that she died, but we never saw the body, and so we never got to put her to rest.
Does Chiron say a lot of things? Give a lot of advice?
That's what I wanted to bring you here about. He's been watching over us ever since I was a child. But I did trust him. He's the, frankly, he knows how things work around here. He filled in a lot of the gaps when the last Ember Wish was gone. And he's the smartest person I know. And I used to think that that was because of the stories that people told about him. And I need to show you something. I need to show you why I don't trust him anymore.
All right.
And then she'll lead you off in another direction. We kind of skip forward a little bit. We're outside and we're on the surface suddenly, wandering towards this like a collapse. I think there's some collapsed buildings and stuff. We're back out towards the city. And there's trees around you. They're starting to become like almost a forested area. And she leads you over a little ridge. And there's something there, like there's a furrow in the soil here, and it's raining, but you can kind of make out like there's like a tinge of red suddenly in the earth, and you realize you're looking down on some kind of like object that has crashed here, that has like landed or crashed here, or it's like partially seeped into the soil. Out of character, this is like a shuttle. This is like a spacecraft. And she says, Chiron, he came here from the stars. That's why people trusted him. They thought he was, wise.
Well, he might be wise, but I don't think anyone. I mean, we certainly don't know his intent yet, unless you do.
It was all in your message. I only got to hear it for a second, but I knew in that moment there are people coming for us. There are things, What do you think is happening, Kettu? You've heard the message too. Do you think it's some kind of alien? Some creature? Did you expect monsters to invade?
I think Kettu does not really know, but see Kettu fumbling around in their bag, and they pull out like a figurine of a monster. It's like, yeah, monster?
I like that I'm almost imagining one of those squeezy aliens. Like just suddenly you just have no, it's people. And he's one of them. I realized just now.
Well, seems dug in pretty well here. What do we do?
It's an understatement. We have to get your friends to safety, and we have to figure out what to do about the others that are coming.
I mean, sure, but I think Kettu's looking for some plans, or we can cut and have a meeting about this,
I actually kind of like the idea. Let's role play this out a little bit.
All right.
Yeah.
Then I think Kettu is just asking a lot of probing questions about, like, what he's got any keys, or like computer stuff, or who why do people listen to them?
Yeah, and I like the idea that maybe this is where she kind of hashes out something with you. And she's like, well, the sentries are all under his control. He's essentially like, in some ways, he's like her mentor or whatever. Since she's still young, and in a lot of ways, he kind of runs this the whole facility. But there are places, people here generally are loyal to her. So if they can, some of them will listen and some of them won't. Depending, who knows how close they are, whether or not he's like gotten his hooks into people or what have you. But there's a lot of people who would listen to Arya as well, to the Emperor Witch.
And I think Kettu asks her as well. What if you told all those people, what we know?
That's a lot. That's a lot to understand, to absorb.
Well, you can condense it down, incoming aliens, infiltrators, etc.
A presentation.
A broadcast.
Ooh. I think you're onto something. And then she'll get down to like the nitty-gritty details with you about what should be included in that. Cut to Seer and Vholt. Where are you two hiding out? Did you escape the compound entirely, or did you like find some corner to huddle down in?
I imagine it would still be inside. I don't think we would have been able to get completely outside. Especially when we originally got here, you described it as kind of almost trap-laden, like relatively dangerous just traversing it.
Yeah, in some way, it's very brutalist, and in some ways it's almost as much of like a fortress as it is. Yeah, plus it's specifically, designed to be kind of impenetrable to any kind of moth attack or whatever. So yeah, that does kind of make sense.
I think that we saw Kettu leave with the Ember Wish, or we saw the Ember Wish go into Kettu's room.
Correct.
And I think at that point, Seer knows better than to try to attack the Ember Wish in her sanctum. So I think that he would have said to Vholt, like, we need to find where Sequa is. And so they've been kind of furtively running through the halls.
I like the idea of like this could be a situation where you're just kind of miraculously have found Sequa, right? Where you arrive at Sequa's, somewhere near Sequa's door, and you see that there are multiple sentries outside of it.
Yeah, we were attracted by them complaining about it.
But my question for you is: Are you just walking around the corner in disguise, or are you like in some kind of air vent? Like, what does it look like? How do we see you approach it? And this could even be part of the action too. Like, if you walk up, in disguise to deliver food or something, that could be fun. But I'm not sure if it's in character or not.
I think it would be fine for Vholt to be in costume, especially after having knocked out 2 guards. But obviously Seer has a bit more difficulty than that. But I think that would be fine. I think Vholt being in costume would be fine, and I'm limping now, so I can like limp towards these guards and be like, "Oh, the that mechanical bird, like it's down there, like it's just rampaging. Yeah, I barely got away.
What kind of action do you think that is?
Nothing that Volt's good at, that's for sure.
That's okay. You can roll a roll with 0 dice.
Can I assist?
Mm-hmm. You can.
Okay. I would like to do that. Sears making a distraction by making a lot of noise in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
Reasonable. Yeah. I believe this is mislead. The one skill I do not have insightfully.
That's funny. Well, you're starting with 1 die. Would you like to push yourself?
I don't believe I can. I have 1 stress right now.
Oh my god.
I'm the best. Don't worry about it. But Devil's Bargains will always be a yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
The Devil's Bargain is going to be that, this door isn't going to be trivial to open. So while this distraction is happening, and even if you're successful, you still have to somehow get the door open in the time that it takes for T.S.E.E.R to either lose or deal with these guards.
I got a different door bargain.
Okay.
The security doors, I like. Security doors trap you, the guards, and T.S.E.E.R in.
Oh, everyone.
Oh, like blast doors?
Yeah.
That's fun. No, I actually kind of do like that. Like,
Oh,
we're
no.
not talking
Yeah.
about in this room, but like in this vicinity. Yeah, like blast doors come down as if it's like in a spacecraft or something like that, and just like seal off this
Yeah.
wing. Yeah,
Yeah, somebody
that's a good Devil's Bargain. I like that.
at some point hits the thing on the wall,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, I'll take that. Sure. Yeah, that works. So, Volt comes stumbling around the corner. I'll be on 2 dice then. I think my crushed leg is not giving me a negative for this at the very least, so that's good.
It's not.
And yeah, let's see how good I can lie, because I've never done this in my life. Volt doesn't know enough to lie about things, so...
You've had the perfect... No, never mind. Sorry, that's somebody else.
Well, I got a 1 and a 3.
Okay. I mean, there's a reason we haven't seen you lie, and it's because of how you've role-played your character as not being great socially. So tell me how you kind of flub this.
I think
a little bit.
I probably refer to T.S.E.E.R by name, instead of like, I'm like using information that like the guards don't have, or they're like, that seems really
Right.
suspicious.
You mean the robot?
Yeah, right. And I'm just like, yes. Which robot? We're talking about the bird, right? We're on the same page.
Well, I think one of them is like a little bit more savvy than you, and he's like, "Oh, you tell me. You mean the one? Are you talking about the owl robot or the dog robot?"
Oh God, there's 2 of them.
Recognizing you, yeah.
The dog hasn't started attacking people, has it?
Mm-hmm. You, the one that you were in the library with the other day.
Oh.
Kind of catching you in your lie a little bit. Like, you're gonna have to come with me, and I think they handcuff you. There's like a slap on the, like they quickly like slap something on your wrist. You don't realize it's like energy cuffs or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I resist that?
You can.
Sears gonna come tearing around the corner and attack these fools.
Yeah. Go ahead and resist with prowess.
He is a one-trick pony. 2. All right. 2 stress. I'll take
2
that.
stress. You interrupt this sad display and come barreling in, and they quickly like take out someone. There's like a quick exchange. No one is taken out, and you're separated. And this is where we get to see. This is where we get to paint the sentries a little bit as badass, just to boost up what's going to happen next for you. where like these are sentries of the Ember Wish, and I think that they all have like some cool auger weapon that's like some tool of the predecessors that's probably wasn't even a weapon originally, but was like is being repurposed somehow. So like one of them brings out like something that glows with heat or something like that, like a baton or something. It's like a shock thing. Other one has just like a rope, but it seems to like move on its own a little bit or something like that. Like it's silver, and etc. What do you do? And Nichelle, your character can come in on this to
I was
help
gonna say,
out
I knock on the door.
You're locked. You're locked in a room, but still.
Sequa's just probably like on the couch or something. Maybe hears the knock and then some more banging and crashing. And is like, oh, they're having all the fun without me again.
Well, you could. I mean, you're pretty cool. You could maybe use some of your senses to like know what's happening outside your door, that kind of a thing, right?
Yes, but also she's gonna think that they have this under control.
Okay.
The guards?
So whatever's going on out there is fine. I think with this distraction that's going on, though, that's when she's really gonna focus on that artifact machine that was in the vault and try to activate it.
So you're gonna like project yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, to try and figure some stuff out. That's kind of cool. Why don't we see that before we quickly go back to this combat?
Yeah.
Tell me what you're trying to do and how you're doing it.
This message has come before.
Yeah.
Many times.
Are you just asking me another question, or are
One
you trying to take control of something, or?
I'm trying to take control of it. I'm trying to bind something.
I mean, are you trying to take control of this facility? Because that's something you can actually do.
We'll work up to that. One step at a time.
I mean, if you try to, you're going to have to work up to it no matter. Anyway, like it's going to be a clock, right? Is this your first step?
Yeah, let's do it. I do have a question for you. What artifact did I touch to essentially have a connection with for this? Like, what does it look like? What was it?
It was a black orb.
It was a black orb.
Correct.
Have I ever seen one of these things before? Or is essentially like I have no idea what this does?
If it's okay with you, I'm going to say no, but I am going to say that you knew immediately when you connected to it. It was like a data collection device. It's like a secure vault. It's very complex. Like, it could store all kinds of things.
Okay, I kind of have an idea. Seer is potentially throwing Nomen's mind into this. Something you might be okay with? Of like, okay,
how?
Okay, princess, you're gonna have to try to help me out with this.
Are you asking Nomen for help? Is that what you're saying? Because it's kind of cool if you ran into Nomen earlier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm essentially like, I'm asking your permission by literally telling you to do this thing for me.
Is that okay, Danielle?
Yes.
Are you going to go along with that? All right. So essentially, this is a group action you're doing with Nomen, and because Nomen is technically an NPC, they can help you out just through group actions. So they'll give you 1d6 for this roll, but they share in any consequences.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am using my summoner ability. It says the GM, I bind spirits and demons to my will with the devil's bargain. The GM will tell me what they require. If I provide it, they follow my orders the best that they can. What is the devil's bargain here regarding Nomen, who's already called me a princess and doesn't like me?
Well, I'm going to be honest. You don't have, unless you want it to do it for flavor, you don't have to bind him right now, I think, based on, how we've role played it.
Okay.
So you
It's
don't
a
have to use that
potential for
ability
future. Okay, excellent.
Yes.
All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll for this.
For your info, the consequence here, and again, you need to tell me which action you're doing and stuff. The consequence, though, is going to be that I have created a clock called Hunt You Down, and it is 0 out of 6, and I will tell you more about what that means as we take segments of it. It also isn't just for you, it's for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this with a tune. I think that
Makes sense.
for the character.
Makes sense. Standard effect.
6, 5, 5, 4.
You push your mind into various like facets of the facility and start like incepting it essentially. Like a lot of it's breaking down security measures. And you're making progress, but it is taking some time. And I think that's where we get to highlight this fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a quick aside, Kettu, we flash sideways to you and Arya returning, only to find that the facility has been locked down.
Okay.
And at first you think you're stuck inside, outside, but Arya kind of leads you to like another side passage, and she does something. Maybe she puts her hand against a plate or something, and there's like a special passage that opens up to allow you in. And she says to you, something's wrong. I think that your friends are in trouble. You should help. I'll gather who I can. People I trust.
All right. I'll see if we can. I'll find out what's happening with them and see if we can arrange this. I guess security for your broadcast.
Meet me under the tree, the one we used to play under. All right.
The tree's not real.
This isn't Blade Runner. Anyway.
Justin, it's probably... Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was just going to mention it's probably a good time to go to the first break.
Oh, a first break? Yeah, so we can paint the picture by like floating through the facility until we get back to where we kind of left T.S.E.E.R, and you're being surrounded literally by 3 people with like scary looking weaponry, and then we'll cut to break.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be back in a little bit then, guys.
Mm-hmm.